by the way, are you proud of me? You see that?
Look at that. Putting the shelf to use. I like
it. Dude, you like it? I've had 2, so it should be a fun podcast.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. It's
Isn't it your birthday? Yes.
Yes, it is. You know what the best birthday present is? That Brandon's not on the podcast. That's what everyone, we kicked Brandon off the podcast. Just kidding. He's just not here yet. Yesterday my wife brought home a bunch of whiskey for me to put on my shelf. So I got Maker's Mark, obviously, Jack Daniels.
I see some Jack Daniels.
This is Screwball, this white one. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a peanut butter whiskey, and it's fantastic. It's like drinking
Sounds
candy.
Great for beginners. Yeah,
beginners. Dude, put that with Dr. Pepper root beer. Dude, I had 2 drinks very fast, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
And then the other one is, Bird Dog. I actually like Bird Dog whiskey. It's pretty good.
Bird Dog, yeah.
So, but I've had a couple yesterday and 2 today, and I stopped because I was like, I should probably have some coffee before bed. So,
the only person I know that doesn't drink coffee before they go to bed.
Oh, dude, every day. Yeah, I have to.
But it's decaf, right?
Yeah, it's decaf.
At night?
Yeah, I used to do just regular coffee. Caffeine does nothing to me. I can have caffeine right before bed and I'll be fine. So, like, I used to do it all the time, and my wife and I talked about, like, it's probably bad that we're drinking this much caffeine. 2 cups in the morning, 2 cups a night every day. We should probably cut back.
Right.
So we just went to decaf. It doesn't taste any different, but I feel like it has to be better for me in the end. So we'll see.
I'm sure.
But my wife,
if I'm going to drink coffee, though, I want it to be caffeinated. I don't get, like, wired from coffee. Mm-hmm. I could drink coffee all day long. It doesn't get me wired, but when I go to sleep, I can't go to sleep. Yeah. I'll just lay there staring at the ceiling. Not wired, not, jittery, nothing like that. I just won't go to sleep.
Yeah, I can sleep like a baby. The only time I don't sleep good is if I have a ton on my mind and I just feel like I can't drop it. Like, I feel it. Right. I usually just have way too much going on the next couple of days, and I have them written down, or I don't have them written down, and it's just usually when I don't have them written down, it's even worse because it's just grinding in there. Like, oh, you have so much to do, and it's all at once. It feels like it's all at once.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I can't sleep at night. But when I was on patrol, I'd get home at like 2 a.m. I would literally go right in. I'd clock off in my driveway, right? Because we bring our cars home, or we did. So I'd bring my car home, clock off, say 10:42, go upstairs, take off all my gear, climb right in bed, and be asleep within 10 minutes. It was just, I could just knock out. And everybody else on my shift was like, I go home, I have to watch a show, I kind of like unwind for a little bit. I've never had that issue. Once I get in bed, it's just I let everything go and I just sleep. But there's very few times that I can't sleep, and it's just I have so much in my head going like crazy and things to do and things like that. But
I'm the kind of person that when I lay down to go to sleep, if I don't go to sleep in the first 10 minutes, I need to get up. I get up and go walk around, go do something, come back, try it again. I can't. If I lay there longer than 10 minutes, I'm up all night. I can't do it. I got it. My head's got to hit the pillow, and I got to be asleep. That's why I got to be tired. And
if you like really struggle to go to sleep, will you take anything or drink something to like help you, or you just tough it?
I take melatonin at night.
Melatonin. And that usually helps, right? That like that.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what it does. It doesn't help me go to sleep, but it helps me get to a deep sleep faster. So I feel way more rested when I wake up than what I used to. Taking it, and I don't take much. I mean, I think I take less than 5 milligrams. So that's really not that much.
We went to this local coffee shop that sells Black Rifle coffee because it's in town. I'm like, oh, this is sweet. So we went there, and you can actually buy it without ordering it. So we went there, but they sell a bunch of CBD products. And so my wife has a bunch of issues with her foot. She's had 2 surgeries on it, and she basically has her second metatarsal, right, which would be the one right next to your thumb. That bone, that knuckle, is actually decaying, right? So the toe itself is just falling apart. There's no blood flow for some reason. It's called Freiberg's infraction. So
Yeah.
she was an athlete in college. She did softball, and then she just got this injury, and it just started just wearing on her. She couldn't fix it. They 2 surgeries. She still hurts pretty much every day if she's on it all day. But we started doing CBD because of that. We're like, maybe it'll help, which it didn't really. We just did the topical stuff, but she put it on her back because she has back issues because of her foot, because she like limps and stuff when it's hurting. And she sleeps so good when she puts that CBD stuff on. It's crazy. And I put it on a couple times, and I felt like I had a deep sleep, but I didn't feel like it did much for my muscles. But it felt like you put Vicks on your, when you put your Vicks on your chest and like opens it up type thing. It was kind of like similar to that. I don't know if I feel like a lot of that stuff too is probably in your head. They're like, hey, this is going to help you. And so when you take, you're like, hey, this is going to help me. And so then you just take it, and it's all in your head. It's all placebo. But anyway.
Hey, whatever works, right? Whether it's placebo or not.
That's what I think. Brandon's here, everybody.
Brandon Walker, the smoking king.
The smoking king. Yeah, we got Brandon into a Traeger, and we had him spend $800 this weekend, which it always feels good when you convince your friends to spend $800 that they didn't really need to spend, but I think it's necessary. So, Brandon, how was your wings?
They were delicious. Actually, I had thighs and drumsticks.
Ooh, that's it. It looked delicious. I'm glad you tagged me.
They're pretty
made me
good.
hungry.
I
had leftover pizza today, so it made me. It's like, yeah, it's my birthday, and Brandon is having wings or thighs smoked, and I'm having leftover pizza. But
happy birthday!
Thank
happy
you,
birthday
sir.
Pizza.
Yeah, it was good. No, we went over to my wife's parents, and we had like chili dogs and stuff, and so it was pretty good. So my in-laws.
What did you just put on? Did you just put on a cardigan?
Yeah, what's that?
I've had this. What? It's just a sweater, bro. What? Are you judging me because I have a sweater on? Wow.
Are you on Dumb and Dumber?
Wow.
Pullover.
You guys are rude.
It's a cardigan.
I looked up and you got really professional all of a sudden.
Dude, I've had this on. I had this on the whole time. We just did a 20-minute podcast.
I think you were
We've been recording.
I think you were doing like the business, like pulling it down.
I didn't even pay attention a minute ago. Maybe because you were adjusting it or something.
Yeah, I just did this. I was like, just because it got on.
I noticed then too. I was like, is that like a suit? Jacket?
No,
it's his birthday.
Dude, I got it for my birthday.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. It's actually
Fancy.
very comfortable. It's fleece inside. I love it. See, I live in a cold state, unlike you two.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's that mean?
I thought you were doing like chicken wings. I didn't know wings.
Well, I said, do you guys have any thigh recipes? And Mullen said, I've never done them before. And so I was like, well, what about wings? Because it's like the same cooking time.
I'm sorry, man. I would have helped you out with the thighs.
It's fine. I got them. They were good. Actually, I did thighs and drumsticks. So I did.
So
I did
what Traeger did you end up picking up?
The Pro 575.
It's cool. That has the Wi-Fi and everything, right?
It does. That's the reason I went with that one. He tried to talk me into the Ironwood or Iron.
Oh, it's
something.
It's Timberland. That one?
No, there's one that's like the same size but just got more features. Like it has another rack and it has like a tray already on it, and it's got like door seals and like a couple of. But it was like $10.99 or $11.99 or $10.99. Yeah, I'm like,
nah.
Why? I don't understand why this is so much. I think the hopper was like a little bit. It was like a 20-pound instead of 18. I was like, whatever.
You'll be fine.
This is fine.
Dude, I filled my hopper up the other night and started cooking at midnight. So I'd already started it up, had it up to temp and everything. Put my meat on at midnight. I cooked Boston butts until I think I took those off about 10:30. And then I cranked it up to 350 and did chicken thighs until 11:30 or so. And I didn't run out of pellets. I never had to put them in, at all.
Yeah. I switched over because the tri-tip that I did, which was pretty good too. I used like the Traeger rub. There's the whatever, I don't know. It just says Traeger's rub on it or whatever. I used that. And then I used the Texas beef pellets. And like those two combined, I think were like a lot of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my buddy about it, and he's like, well, what pellets are you using? So I told him, he's like, oh yeah, those are like super smoky. And then you added like a ton of that rub. He's like, that was probably like super rich. I'm like, yeah, it was pretty rich. It was good. But this time, because I got chicken, so I went and got applewood pellets, and that seemed to help a little bit. And then I did 3 different ones. So I did the chicken Traeger rub, and then I did like, it's weird, but we used the McCormick Montreal steak seasoning, but on chicken. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I got like some sweet Stubbs sweetened something barbecue sauce, and then I added some of that blackened Saskatchewan rub in it, and like put it. It was made. That was my favorite one.
It's so good.
Sauce.
Yeah, the Saskatchewan's great.
Yeah, that rub's amazing.
I'm gonna try it by itself next time just to see.
So you put the Texas pellets in, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Right.
Did you empty them today and put the new pellets in?
That was what I was going to say. It was a pain in the butt to like, because I wanted to like clear them all out just to like get the complete different flavor, because I didn't want to mix them. So I got them all out, and then I'm like, how am I gonna get them out of the auger? So I like primed the auger like 3 times, just trying to get them all out and like scooping them out of the pot with my hands.
Dude.
So does yours have the door on the back?
Yeah.
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 So you can take the door, you get rid of it. So
Yeah.
next time, just get as much as you can out, and then fill the hopper up, and then just run the smoker for a little bit.
Yeah, I was burn it out.
I was gonna do that, but I was like, meh.
So this is what I do. I fill in, like the other day I put hickory in. That hickory will go all the way till it's empty, because I don't change my pellets. I just like, okay, I'm cooking hickory, I'm gonna cook according to those pellets, and I don't deal with switch. I just always refill. I never switch out. Yeah. It's just annoying.
The hickory is like good for pretty much anything, right?
Yeah. Oh, most of them are. Besides apple, apple's pretty strong, so it'll take on flavor. Is it beef that takes on most of the flavor of the apple pellets?
Yeah, I don't use apple other than with chicken. Yeah, or ribs. I'll use apple with ribs.
Well, that works.
Apple and cherry.
I'm gonna do ribs next, I think. So
yeah, it'll give them a good color too.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to switch away from that because that Texas beef is like, it says on there like only beef or whatever. It's a blend of like mesquite, pecan and oak, I think.
Yeah. So I have the big game pellets that they're like, this is made for big game. I use it for everything. It's fantastic. Yeah.
What is it?
It's I think it's oak, hickory, and maybe pecan. Something like that. They're pretty standard. So it's like big game pellets. I'm like, it's just a blend.
Right.
And so I use it for everything. It's the best. It's so good.
I found a competition blend at Academy Sports that's not expensive at all. It's the only thing I use. I don't use anything else but this competition blend. It's got pecan, oak, and cherry, I think. I could be off there. I can't really remember, but it's my favorite. Back when my homemade smoker, I always changed out what type of woods I was going to use depending on what type of meat. But with this one, I just keep that competition blend in there. It works good.
Yeah, I also bought a bag of their signature blend, which I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's not. Yeah, it doesn't have. I think it's hickory, and then like cherry and something else.
I've used the signature all the time. It's good.
Yeah, that's what my buddy said he always uses. He's like, that's all I use is their signature blend.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Well, welcome to the club, brother.
Right?
Yeah.
About time.
I'm happy
now I'm like addicted. I'm like I was saying, my Instagram feed is all like barbecue stuff.
You don't think we
you know what's funny though?
Texted us nonstop for recipes, and I'm like, there's an app, dude. Look up the app.
The problem is they're like thousands of recipes. I'm like, but they're super specific. They're like, this is tequila lime chicken. I'm like, I just want to know how long to cook it. Like, just tell me the temperature and the time. That's all I want to know. I'm gonna add my own seasoning.
That's a valid critique, because a lot of the time I'm like, I just want to look up different ways or like dry rub rib rack, right? Instead of doing a butt like that, and then they have these crazy recipes. And it's like, okay, I don't need
inject the brine and this. And I'm like, no, what? No.
But if you pull up the app, it'll show you. It breaks it down, so it's like the sauces can be in a one tab, and then the next will be like actually how to cook it, and so you can just skip through and just look on how to cook it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
also, when you get some time, join the forum. It's called barbecuebrethren.com. And it's a forum, and you can search it, and it has an incredible amount of knowledge on there.
Mullen looks so hurt right now.
No, I'm
He's like, wait, where? What?
I know that he hasn't told me yet. I'm like, what? That's because I'm wearing a cardigan. That's why you haven't told me. What a dick.
There's an incredible amount of knowledge on there, and it's searchable, and it's really good. Also, all right, here, chicken thigh recipe real quick. You'll never go wrong with this. It's amazing. 10 pans, you get like the 10 baking pans or whatever. Depending on how many you have, it depends on what size that is, but get enough to where you can fill that up with your chicken thighs. Taking chicken thighs, put them down in the pan, rub them down with your seasoning, whatever you want, front and back. Make sure you get up under the skin, and then place them all in there really good. Put a tablespoon of butter on top of each one of them, and then throw that sucker on the smoker for about an hour at 180 to 225 degrees, but keep an eye on your internal temp, because you want to pull them when they're about 140. And once you pull them 140, crank your temp up to about 350, and then take them out of the pan and cook them direct on the grate. If you're going to put some sauce on them, then go ahead and start that. But what you're going to do is make sure your grill gets good and hot. Start them skin side down. You want to crisp up the skin at that point. Dude, it's the best. They are bite through, amazing chicken thighs. Like, they're amazing.
Nice.
At that. I mean,
so I kind of
can't go wrong.
You said that earlier about the smoking it at lower temperature, and so when I did that, I put them on at 200, I think, and I let them go for like an hour until they got up to like 115 or something like that, and then I just turned it up to like 400. It never actually got up to 400, but I just let it cook until it reached 165, hot as it could get, and they were on the grate the whole time, and they were good. I was kind of surprised, and it's super juicy.
Did they have skin on them?
Yeah,
they weren't. So one issue I've heard, because my dad smokes as well, and he's a lot of the time when you do poultry, the skin will be really rubbery.
Yeah, it was it was really chewy. Like, it was hard to, but it tasted good.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I like. I want a charcoal grill for, or a green egg or something like that. Right. Is for chicken, because I want that skin to be just perfect. And that's that's one.
I can get it pretty close on the Traeger though. Once you crank it up, get it 350, 400, and then you put them around the outside, either the front edge or the back edge where the indirect plate is. It has a lot more heat. Go skin side down. It takes a little bit longer than what a charcoal or whatever, but you can get the skin really damn good just by using that. So,
I did the skin side up, so that might have been part of it.
Getting skin bite through, like crispy and just right, is one of the hardest things about cooking chicken. I mean, it's almost impossible sometimes. And then, when you take it off and rest it, you got to tin it just right, because if you don't, then the steam will, make it less crispy, after that. So
gotcha.
There's a lot to it when it comes to chicken skin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty pumped. We're having the Thanksgiving at our house again, so I'm excited to try turkey again, because I've done it twice, and both times are out of this world.
Yeah,
I can't.
Now you're gonna jinx yourself.
Oh,
this time it's gonna be horrible.
It's hard to mess it up though, dude. It really is. If you brine it for 24 hours or 12 hours, you brine it for 12 hours, throw it on the grate. I'm gonna spatchcock it again because it cooked really even, and I think I'm gonna do 2 turkeys, and I should have enough room in our 780s to have 2 turkeys side by side, hopefully. So we'll see, but I'm going to do that, and we're going to have a ton of people over. So it should be fun.
Sweet.
Yeah, I cook a turkey every year, even if we don't use it for like family dinner. I'll just go get a small one and cook it anyway, and brine it for 12 hours and cook it, just because it's so good.
It is. Well, and then you have food for the next like 3 weeks for your family.
Turkey and cheese sandwiches with some mayonnaise later on.
And let's be honest, you have neighbors at your house every night, so it's going to get used.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of it goes to waste.
Always got people over.
That's for sure. Yeah, I've been eating on that tri-tip ever since I cooked it. I just ate some for lunch. Nice. It was good.
It looked good. Yeah. Pulled it right. Man, it was good.
Yeah. Oh, did I? Did I pull it right, Jesse?
It looked good.
I got yelled at for an hour.
So Jesse's under this impression, JP is under this impression that you have to pull it off at like 90 degrees.
Well, it's still moving.
If it's over 120 when you're eating it, you're un-American. I'm pretty sure that's what he said in the text message.
Somebody even DM'd me and said, "Looks really good, but a little bit red for me."
They don't understand though. That's tri-tip, right? Like that's because it goes from red or pink to gray really fast.
Oh yeah.
And once you hit that threshold, it just goes. So you took it off at 160, didn't you? You took it 135 and then seared it. So
I took it up at like 128, 130, and then seared it for
good.
2 minutes on each side at like.
Yeah, so you had to be close to like that 150, 160 mark.
I honestly didn't check it after I seared it,
but that's what I usually do, and usually that's close to that because you did the same process as me, and so that's perfect. And you want it to be pink.
Yeah, I like it. If
it's
that.
gray, it's
like,
too much.
I've had it a lot of times, like when most people cook it, I don't know how they're cooking it on a grill, but like they usually wrap in foil, but the center will be like really like almost rare, like super blood coming out everywhere. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I get made fun of all the time for it, but I
well, that's because they didn't rest it long enough. It wasn't because it wasn't cooked well enough. If I cook steaks, like I take a ribeye at 115 degrees, I pull it off, wrap it in foil, then I get my pan searing hot, and then I sear it in a cast iron pan with a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter, for about 2 minutes on each side. So probably final, depending on how long it rests and how long it takes or whatever, probably 130-ish, 125, 130-ish.
That's like medium rare.
Yeah. So it's not, you got to watch for that carryover, man. You're checking your temperature and stuff. You take it off and wrap it. If it sits there for a minute, it'll jump up 5, 6, 7 degrees easy on you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to now I'm like, we have like that Hello Fresh box we've been eating for dinners. And I'm like, just cancel that. I'm going to be eating meat every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that deer venison night before last. Or no, yesterday. Did it yesterday. And I pulled it at 120, wrapped it in foil, and then got my pan ready and seared it for 2 minutes on both sides. And it was perfect.
Nice. So when I was going to say Rob from Stone City Woodworks or whatever. I was looking on Instagram like right before we got on, and he made those bacon wrapped Oreos that I was talking about.
Yeah, who made that first? I think it was Meat Church.
Yeah,
right?
it was on Meat Church. Yeah,
I love Meat Church. I love that channel.
I see, and I was like, "Wow, it looks kind of good," but I'm like, I don't know about bacon wrapped Oreos. He made them, and they looked all right.
The best cupcakes I've ever had were maple bacon cupcakes. They were the best. They were so good, and it was like a normal cupcake, I think vanilla, but they had this amazing maple icing on top, and then this like a legit like half a thing of bacon on each one. And I never thought it'd be good, but the salty and the sweet together,
sounds good.
It was out of this world. We got them. I think we got them for my son, who was turning 1 at the time, his birthday party. Not that he really cared. We could have got the cheapest ones in the world, but when it's your first
him up
kid,
early.
Yeah, well, when it's your first kid, you're like, okay, we're going all out. We had like 40 people at our house, and the people came from California all over to our house for this, and it was fun. But that's
funny. Yeah, they have a lot of. I've noticed donut shops put bacon on maple bars a lot around here.
Yeah, they do that for donuts a lot.
Yeah.
I had bacon at a restaurant once where they melted cotton candy onto the bacon after it was cooked, like big, thick sliced pieces of bacon. They cooked it and then melted cotton candy on it, and it was amazing.
That's crazy. Have you ever had the
sweet and salty, man?
Have you ever had the cotton candy grapes?
Ooh.
Yes,
dude.
My kids had them for a while.
They're
They're
amazing.
awful.
I love them.
They're awful.
My girlfriend gets so mad. She's like, "They're so gross." I'm like, "You're high on drugs."
It sounds disgusting.
Oh, dude, they're so good.
I bet
you can't accuse her for being on drugs when you're eating cotton candy grapes. By the way,
they're delicious. Everybody except her that I've given them to, they're like, I'm like, they taste like cotton candy. They're like, real like. And I'm like, taste it. And like, I took him to work one time, and like, all the guys were like, "What the hell?" Like, they literally taste like cotton candy.
Oh, that sounds.
I need things to taste like they are.
It's good. They're amazing. I get mad because they're only around a certain time of year.
Is either one of you guys black licorice people?
No,
Oh,
absolutely
thank God.
not.
My
old boss
always
was. He had like black jelly beans, black licorice, and
it's gross. Ugh. So there was this. We played this game when we were in college, when we were drinking, of course. So we're playing this game with they're these jelly beans, and they're basically like there's the exact. You have 2 flavors are the exact same color, and you have a bunch. So
Bean
2
Boozled.
Blues. Yeah, Bean Boozled. Yeah. So you have a blue one that's like blueberry, then you have a blue one that's toothpaste, and so you and somebody else, you both take one or you pick one out.
And that's a nice one.
Yeah, and that's one of the best ones. The worst ones are the black because you lose both times. It's black licorice and skunk. And it's so gross. But when you're a little tipsy, you're just like, let's do this. And so I grabbed the black one and I was like, oh, because you don't look, like you just pour it out and then whatever comes out, you do it. So I had a black and I was like, oh, dude, this is going to suck either way. And I was kind of hoping, yeah, I don't know. I'm torn because I think black licorice is absolutely disgusting. But I was like, all right,
Give
well,
me
here we
the
go.
skunk.
So I put in, and it was the skunk. Oh my gosh. It tasted exactly how a skunk smells. Like when you run one over in the road.
God.
It was the worst. And so I climb into bed, half tipsy, and I'm lean next to Brooke, and I get close to her, and she goes, "Oh my God, for the love of God, please go brush your teeth." And I was like, what? She's like, "You smell so bad." I was like, okay, all right, I'm sorry. And then I vowed I will
terrible game.
And then I vowed I'll never drink again. And then, as you can see over here on my floating shelf,
clearly didn't work.
That didn't last long. So whatever.
Yeah.
So this podcast is brought to you by Work Gear. From your shop to your home to what you make, build, restore, or renovate for yourself, your family, or your profession, it doesn't matter. Work Gear is a brand that supports your lifestyle with performance gear and apparel, delivering all-day performance and all-day comfort. I have the Work Gear gator. I use it for sanding, routing in the shop all the time. Absolutely love it. And actually as a mask to go to certain stores that require it. I wear it all the time. It is fantastic, breathable. I love it. I'm actually wearing one of their performance sweatshirts. I've worn it for 3 days straight. My wife is telling me to wash it, but I refuse. It is so comfortable. And I love their stuff. So make sure you guys go check them out. We have a promo code for you. It's GBS15, GBS15 for 15% off all their gear. Make sure that you go check them out. Follow them on Instagram. When you support our sponsors, you support us. So thank you for watching. Make sure you go check them out. So Brandon, what did you do this week?
I had a busy week, actually. I had to stay at work late on Thursday because we were finishing up that conference table that I did all the routing on. It took so long.
I saw those pictures.
Looks he finally delivered it.
Looks badass for sure.
Thanks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we ran into a ton of problems. Even on he was going to leave Friday morning super early. But then on Thursday night, we went and put it together, and we put these LED panels on the back of it to light it up, and they were super bright. And so it takes a specific, they're actually office lights that go in a ceiling, but they're LED panels. And so obviously they're going to be real bright, but we were like, oh, just get a dimmer. Well, apparently it's some super specialized dimmer for those things. Not like anything you can even get at Home Depot. It's got a 10 volt something. I don't know. I didn't do the wiring. But yeah, so we had to get a specialized dimmer, and then the guy that owns the other part of the business was doing all the wiring. And then it ended up to where I cut it was, I cut off a little bit of the logo apparently. So it was black, yeah, that was the face I had, the one Mullen's making right now. Wide-eyed, oh,
can you
crap.
imagine, though, you're delivering it? Because did you guys notice? You guys didn't notice then?
No, we did. All this was the night before he was going to leave,
gotcha.
Luckily. And so I didn't go back Friday. He's like, oh, it's no big deal. I'll come in early and start, just get it done. And I'll cut out a little piece. Well, it has a frame around the light, right? So he was like, I'll just cut the frame right there. And so the light will kind of penetrate through, and that'll be good enough. Well, apparently when he was going to cut the frame out, he took the frame off, and whatever that did made half the light quit working. And so he couldn't get it to work again. So he had to go to Home Depot, buy another light, rewire everything. And then the legs that we got, we powder coated, but he ordered them from somewhere online, like Etsy or whatever. And because we were in a hurry for them. So he got 4 of the same legs, and then I put them all on, and we flipped the tables over. One of the tables, and they're supposed to butt up to each other to make one table. Well, one of them is an inch taller than the other. And I'm like, what? How is this even possible? So it was a nightmare. So he ended up having to tap the feet and put leveling feet on it, but they got it figured out.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah. So that was our long week. And then when for my stuff, I went back to the shop on my day off to I started welding up the base for the Builders Challenge TV console that I'm doing. So that went
That
pretty
looks
well.
good.
Thanks.
That's cool.
Yeah. Flattening
The welds look good.
Yeah, I did a little practicing beforehand just because I hadn't worked with that thin of steel and trying to like butt weld it together because I beveled the edges and everything and I kept blowing through, and so I was trying all kinds of different settings and finally got it to where it wouldn't blow through, and it looks okay. It's a little bit wobbly, but I'll put some feet on there, it'll be all right. And then the top half is going to be out of tulip poplar slabs. I got those flattened on one side, and I'll take those to work around through the planer. And been busy. And then I went and started tearing apart my little patio deal today.
What on your patio?
It has
your
like
smoker is and stuff?
Yeah, because it's just got like a regular like pergola up there, but it was like crappy. They did like 2x2 fir strips instead of like 2x4 redwood or whatever, and they didn't stain it or anything, so it's all like warped. And so I'm gonna take that down, and then I'm gonna put up I called JP earlier actually getting some ideas, but I'm gonna put up just like a structure like the pergola, but then put like the galvanized metal roofing on it. I was gonna do clear, but I think the clear will look like crap after like a year in this
I think so too.
hot sun that we get. So
yeah, you got too many tall trees above you too.
Yeah,
the sap and leaves and everything.
right.
It'll make it look bad.
yeah,
Yep.
so I figured the galvanized with I'm gonna stain the redwood I got some chocolate stain, so it's kind of a reddish brown when it gets stained. So that with the galvanized metal might look pretty cool. We'll see. But I mostly just did it to to keep the smoker safe.
Yeah, I get it.
Is
You
that-
invest that much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Is that pergola attached to your house or is it freestanding?
yeah, it's attached to the house.
Gotcha.
But
That's good.
it like goes under. That was one of the things I was worried about, was like where it attached to the house. I'm like, I'm gonna have to do some flashing, but it goes under the eave. So
Gotcha.
and there's a gutter, so no water will ever like get up under there between the house and there. And if it does, it won't be very much. So I'm not
that's
too
good.
worried about
Good.
it.
Good.
Sounds like
It's also good because you can walk to your smoker from your house without getting in the rain too.
It's
So.
right out the back door.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be
awesome.
cool.
Sounds like it should be pretty easy to.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a
Pretty easy
video on
project.
it. I started filming it today, so
Cool.
just something different.
That's
See
awesome.
I like
how
it.
people like it.
I started tackling today. My wife yesterday went to like this vintage market day.
You tackled your wife?
No, I stopped what I was saying. I was like, I wish, you know what I'm saying, but no. So my wife went to vintage market days and grabbed this old kind of steel metal hardware organizer thing that apparently was at a hardware store somewhere, because it had price tags, like little labels on each divider thing, and it had a price like 90 cents, 80 cents, 50 cents, whatever. And it actually had the size of the things. It was pretty cool. It's really vintage. But I started pulling that apart and actually organizing for the first time in 5 years of actually having a shop, all my screws, fasteners, hardware, everything, going through and doing it. It was actually pretty soothing after I started like
therapeutic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you start to get it. I had them all laid out on my workbench and I'm just throwing them in.
Yeah,
this is
I do that with my
amazing.
bass fishing stuff. So I'll like go fishing a bunch of times and I just throw it everywhere. And then one day I'm like, all right, that's it. Take it all inside, reorganize, throw away what I don't. And it's like a 4 or 5 hour deal, but it's like, this is cool. Because I'm like, oh, I forgot that I even had that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, well,
it's
I
been
realized
fun.
how many. First of all, I don't know why I have so many 1.5 inch screws, because you don't really use 1.5 inch screws
Right.
very often. Just
like 1.25 or 2.
Dude, I have to have like over 1,000 1.5 inch screws. I'm like, why do I have these? These help me. These don't help me at all. Like,
Right.
and I was so mad. But so I have a whole drawer that is just 1.5 inch. It's completely full to the brim, and
Wow.
then I have a bunch of 1.25 as well. But I don't know, just a waste. I don't know when I'm ever gonna use them. Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Well, it's like inch and 5/8. Like, what do you use that for?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have inch and 5/8?
Yeah.
Really?
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have
really?
them in the shop for some reason.
Right.
I don't
I have no clue why.
Yeah.
There's just a box of them
Well,
in
like
there.
for like a while, like a year ago, GRK sent me a bunch of stuff, and it's like what sizes do you use? I'm like, well, mostly like 1.25 to 2.5, or even smaller. So they send me like these buckets of like 3 1/8 inch screws for it. I'm like, what? I'm not building decks. Like, what do you think I'm gonna do with these things?
So you just have them still, just
Yeah,
in a quarter or something.
Yeah. I mean, I've used them like once in a while. I'm like, oh, I can use these huge screws on this, but it's like I'll use like 8 of them. Like, well, there's not a dent in the bucket.
Well, the 1.5 I got is pretty similar to what you just said. I was building that outdoor or my kids' clubhouse, and I told them I need 1.5 or 1 1/4 inch screws, and they sent me 1.5 inch, and they sent me 2 tubs of it. So that's why I have so many. And
right.
I'm like, well, this doesn't.
Like these will poke through the other side.
Yeah, and so I still used them, but I had to make sure I used them in going into, putting like the roofing on, but going into the 2x4 so it wouldn't go through all the way. Yeah, it was annoying.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to do this too. It was like timely because I just brought Power Pro on as a partner, so I'm gonna. I
see the T-shirt. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice. Actually, at work today, I was like, "Oh, I'll be filming that," but I actually didn't get anything done that I could film with the shirt on, so didn't work out. But they have a ton of cool, like different fasteners for outside. Like they have I think it's Timberline or Timber Ridge or something like that. Those heavy duty, like long lag bolt type things. So I'll be able to use those. That'll be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jesse you started organizing your shop, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We're supposed to be at the beach right now. We were supposed to leave last Thursday. We're going to leave Wednesday night.
Came back because we had a podcast and it was my birthday. Thank you so much,
God.
Jesse. It means so much to me.
That was absolutely not the reason.
Hurts.
So
that hurts a little bit.
We were going to leave Wednesday night. We're going to be at the beach Thursday through Tuesday. We were super excited about it. We were going down to Gulf Shores, Alabama. We had a house with 3 or 4 families coming with us. It was going to be great. And the hurricane came. And Delta was on its way. They thought the projection was going to be further east. So they called it a state of emergency for Alabama and evacuated. And when they did that, they canceled our reservation the day before and refunded us immediately. And it canceled our vacation on Wednesday that we were leaving for that night.
That sucks.
So we didn't get to go, and then the hurricane pushed more west, went into Texas, Louisiana, and they actually got less rain in Gulf Shores than we did here in Nashville because of the hurricane.
Wow. So did that? I haven't been paying attention. I just saw like when it was way offshore, and I haven't been paying attention. Did it actually hit land and be as bad as they thought, or?
No, I mean, I'm sure it's flooding and stuff, but I think that it was just a tropical storm once it hit.
Oh.
I don't think it was a hurricane any longer. So yeah. Super glad that there's nobody hurt. Everything's good, but completely ruined our beach vacation.
How dare you, Delta?
We just got spontaneous and we're like, screw it, let's head down. So we went down to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I got a hotel room and spent a couple of days down there with the kids. We went to the kids museum, and then we went rock climbing. They have this really huge like indoor rock climbing place. So me and my kids, we went and just rock climbed all day. Cool. And Brian, the neighbor.
Where's he at? By himself. Not the background today.
He just joined in. Like, did he bring his family or just Brian?
His family was there.
No, his family was definitely there. I saw Jesse's stories where the neighbor kid was about to murder Jesse's son. I saw him hanging on his neck, just screaming. Your daughter's like, we're going to get kicked out.
Yeah, we were at the restaurant. They were trying to do like this real serious, there's a radio station there, and they were doing interviews with the Chattanooga football players for UTC. And it was like right next to us. They're on live radio, and the kids are just trying to kill each other at the table, just screaming at the top of their lungs. Anyway, so we made the best of it. We stayed down there until yesterday. We came back yesterday morning. The kids had a good time, So
apparently, neither one of us is deemed to go to the ocean, because I was supposed to go to the ocean like right before the fire happened, and then actually the weekend after, I don't know, it started on like a Tuesday, and then that weekend we were supposed to go and had it planned, and then ended up not going, and we haven't rescheduled since.
Man, we look forward to that trip so much every year, so it was a big bummer not to get to go. So I don't know, we're talking about maybe just segueing and waiting until probably December, January, something like that, and heading up to maybe go to Colorado, go to the mountains, do some snowboarding or something.
I was like, you're going to go to Colorado in January?
Dude,
yeah.
Dude, Colorado's close to Utah. Just one more state over, bro.
Just keep on driving.
That's right.
So we came back yesterday morning. Been doing some deer hunting the last couple of days with my son and cleaning the shop. I got the shop completely tore out, blown out, vacuumed, put back together, and I am so excited. Like I have like renewed excitement about my wood shop now because it's just there's so much room for activities in there. Like you can do karate, you can do whatever you want. Oh, absolutely, do karate.
Nice.
So freed up a ton of space, and now I'm running 2 different dust collectors. I got one of the Harbor Freight 2 horsepowers and then the Delta 1.5 horsepowers. It's each one's just running 2 machines, just with 2 gates on it. So makes it a little bit easier to. I think the dust collection is going to be a lot better, and I'm not going to say it's going to be easier to use because my old system was really nice. I had all the automatic gates from IVAC, which I still do, and I do like them. It's just they're not worth it for having these 2 dust collectors. But once I get a legit big dust collection and pipe it all back in again, I'll put those back in.
So did you leave that piping up or no?
No, I took it all down and just put it in underneath the house for right now. Because I'll end up, if I get something, the next time I get something, it's going to be something really nice, and I'm going to do overhead piping and stuff in it and make it legit.
Yeah.
But this is going to work just fine, and I'm really happy about it. So
you said you
can't
were
wait to get in there.
You said you've been deer hunting, and when I called you today, you said you were picking out sunflower seeds for them.
No, I was picking out sunflower seeds for me and my son.
Oh, well, you said I'm picking out sunflower seeds for deer hunting, and I'm like, well, I think they can bait back there, so maybe there's like specific things.
That's
that
hilarious.
The deer
That's
like.
where your head went to.
No,
instead of like,
like
just eating sunflower seeds.
Well, the way
like,
he said it made it
to
sound like it was like for the deer.
That's so
like,
No. We were on our way to go deer hunting.
Can you bait there or no?
No, you cannot.
Oh, okay.
No.
I know you can in like Texas and Oklahoma and all that.
But there's like 5 billion flavors of sunflower seeds now, so it takes a while to choose.
Have you tried the caramel sunflower seeds?
That sounds horrible.
No, I can't get it. I can't get off the Taco Bell ones.
The what? Taco Bell?
Taco
Is that
Bell?
what you said?
Oh yeah.
What? What do they taste like? They just taste
going
like
to
taco
the store
meat?
tomorrow.
It's unbelievable.
What does
It tastes like tacos. It's like tacos. They're unbelievable.
What?
Like Doritos and tacos? Like the Dorito shell and everything?
No, it's just like regular taco ones.
Oh, well, you
Have
said
you had
Taco
the dill
Bell,
pickle
so-
ones? Because they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a standard,
Yeah.
bro.
That's
the
not.
caramel
My son was
ones
with
are good.
ranch
They're
today.
weird. Huh?
Ranch is the standard.
Oh, ranch.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. He picked him.
I used to get they have like, I think they have nacho cheese ones or nacho something.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
I'm usually just into the normal salty ones. I'm just good with that. Don't get
they're
too
good too.
crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I started clearing out the one in my shop, the little corner where I'm going to start welding. So I'm officially I'm getting a welder. Should be here in 3 weeks.
Sweet.
And
Which
so
model did they end up going with?
So it's the ESAB Rebel 215. And so it has a MIG, TIG, stick, and I don't believe this one has flux core. I think the 205 had flux core.
You don't want that crap anyway.
Well, I just don't need it, right? Because unless they were like, unless you're going to start doing aluminum eventually, you don't really need it. And he's like, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember exactly why. But yeah, they're like, you don't really need that setup. And I told them what I want is just to learn. So whatever, because I'll be working with them moving forward. And so it's going to be good. I'm excited. I got the vinyl all torn out. I took my circular saw because just how it was going to be a pain in the ass. I was going to ruin part of it, but I wanted a hard line. So I took my circular saw and barely put it down at all. So I just cut a little line in it so I could break it, the laminate, like where I wanted it cut out without destroying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I did cut that out, broke it up, took it out, painted the walls because it was orange, or this orangish brown. It was like really ugly. Painted it white, so it's all set up.
I saw you added an extra light.
Yep, it's really bright now too, especially with the white walls. With the extra light, there's 2 lights, 4-foot LEDs right next to each other in that corner now. So it should be good for filming. I'm sorry.
That was us anyway.
Oh, what did you say?
Your audio sounds weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like did you turn your AC on or something? Because that's kind of what
it did. It kicked back on.
Yeah, whatever your AC does to your mic is horrid.
It like
No,
mutes
but-
it. It's
Yeah,
weird.
It like makes you way quieter and like almost choppy.
Yeah, now it's better, huh?
Yeah, now it's
yeah,
fine.
it's absolutely better.
That's so
That is
weird.
weird.
I
Dude,
wonder
but
if
I
it's
turned
like
it off earlier, huh, Jesse? Remember? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I gotta turn this off. I turned it off.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't
Sorry,
know.
guys.
Well,
When did it
You're
start?
good.
How long ago was it?
not that long. 2 minutes maybe.
No.
Right before you started talking.
All right.
But it's
well,
probably going to be fine on your
I'll-
recording, hopefully.
Hopefully. I'll edit it, though. Anyway, so I cut out the laminate, took that out. I painted the walls because they were ugly orange. I went to Harbor Freight and cut I got a chop saw, a cheap metal cutting chop saw. Because I figure starting right off the bat, I don't want to just use a straight grinder to build a workbench and stuff. So I figured that's going to get me by till I buy a nicer one.
You should definitely look into the Harbor Freight mobile, like the handheld bandsaw.
Oh, yeah.
It actually works really well. My buddy has it. It's like the Bauer one or whatever, the red one.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it works.
I have the Makita one.
Yeah.
And it is the handiest tool
Yeah.
I think I may have in my shop. Like
Really?
outside of woodworking, I've used that thing a ton.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because I mean, unless you're building like super, like something that has to be right on. I mean, you can like eyeball it almost with the bandsaw, and it cuts pretty straight. Like,
Oh yeah.
I would say the chop saw is cool. We have like the Evolution chop saws at work, the metal ones with the blades that don't throw sparks that much, but the blades dull so fast, especially if you're doing like the main welder guy, like he does a ton of stainless and those stuff. Like it'll be like if he's doing stainless one day, he'll put a new blade on in the morning, and by the end of the day, it's garbage. And so I don't know.
I used mine to cut pipes and stuff before. Like I guess I got it back in like February or so. I don't know. I can't remember. But I was using it to cut like some 2-inch pipes or whatever with it. And then the tornado hit, and I used it for 7 days cutting power lines and metal and all kinds of stuff, like getting it away from houses. I've still never changed the blade.
Yeah.
And I have used it since that was in March, and I've used it 100 times since then and still haven't changed the blade, and it is still just rolls right through stuff.
Right.
I'll have to look into it. I got a corded grinder too, because I actually didn't have one. I had the cordless.
Which one did you get?
The Bauer one. I just went and picked up just Harbor Freight. Because I have the DeWalt cordless one, but it kills batteries really fast.
Right.
If you're going through something that's thick.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, okay, I'd rather have another one too. So
yeah. So something else I learned from this job and that welder guy is like, especially if you're grinding welds and it's a flat surface, get they call them like fiber discs or whatever. So like, they have flap wheels, obviously that's what most people use. But the problem with those is like if you're trying to do it on a flat surface, you end up with like a concave thing because they're rounded. And the fiber discs, they have different backers for them. They have like rubber or plastic, but it's basically like a piece of sandpaper on this backer, but it's way thicker. And so you can get like 50 grit. You can get all kinds of different grits, but it's way better for like doing flat surfaces, and it keeps it all flat instead of getting that concave.
You'll have to send me a link. Yeah, I'm excited to jump into all this. They actually, they're having one of their sales reps in the area, their main sales rep for like the West Hemisphere or something like that, or the West Coast, come to my house to help me set it up and walk me through some stuff. And this thing's awesome. If you actually looked at the controls of it, you don't have to really set up anything. Like I have to go get the gas and then whatever, but you put in, okay, this is the type of gas I have, and then the smart MIG system, you say, this is the thickness that I'm using, and everything's already pre-calculated, and it will just adjust everything for you. Yeah. So you don't actually have to calculate anything or like look up at the template and say, okay, well, I need to set this. It just does it all for you.
Right. I'm willing to bet that works probably really good, but you're probably still going to have to make some adjustments.
Like tiny here and there.
Yeah. Well,
especially starting out.
Well, yeah. And like your style is going to be a little bit different. So you might go slower or faster. I've learned that too. Like even the other day when I was at the shop, like trying to figure out just by myself, nobody there to help me. I was like, I went off the template on the welder, but then, like I said, I kept blowing through, and then so I kept turning it down, and then I turned the wire feed up and down, like until I got it right. So you're gonna have to play with it still. I mean, that's a great base, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I'm pumped. I'm just excited to learn.
ESOP welders, I heard are really good. I know we have a couple of the hoods at work, and they were super comfortable.
Yeah, so they apparently they're one of the companies, or one of the main companies that does all the welding stuff for NASA. So all their equipment and things like that. So they're actually more an industrial line, and they own a ton of different companies. If you go on their website, they have 10 companies in the metal fabrication thing that they own. But
I missed what company this is. What's the name of the company?
It's called ESOB, so ESAB.
ESOB.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, they're coming out and they're going to help me set it up, and kind of start getting, kind of give me a lesson and stuff like that. I'm
That's
pumped.
awesome.
And I also looked into the local trade school. And I don't know if I talked about this before, but I looked in local trade school.
You did, but I don't know if it was on the podcast.
Okay. And I looked and see, because they have a certificate thing, so you can take it for 9 months, and it's like 30 hours a week. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That's too much.
Wow.
But they have a beginner's class that just teaches you basics, safety, things like that. And all online, all it says is $175. And then it says Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I was like, well, how long? Is it just 1 week? Or like, what is it?
Right.
And so I messaged the lady, and she messaged back that it's Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. for 3 months.
Wow.
And I'm like, for $175? That's a ton of class time for $175. That's crazy. Good. So I was like,
really?
I'm gonna do it as soon as January hits, the new class, because it just started in September. The new class hits, I'm gonna take it. And it's like, why not?
That'll help a ton.
Yeah. It's cheap. $175 is nothing.
Right.
So I think my father-in-law is going to join me, and we're just going to do it together so we can both like learn basics. And you don't even have to bring your own welder. You just have to bring your own, like,
by the time that's over, you'll be pretty good.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Should be anyway. That's quite a bit of learning time.
Yeah. So I'll have from now till I'm going to do some basic projects. I think the first project welding I'm going to do is the workbench. Obviously, I think that makes sense. And then do basic stuff and just learn and just try to work technique and all that. And I have obviously a ton of woodworking stuff still to do before January. But I'm hoping by January I have a good basis, and I should. Right. By the time I get to the class, everything's just helping my muscle memory and things like that.
And then they'll be like, you're doing all of this wrong. Start over.
Probably. And that's okay. Yeah. I'll be okay with that. But
yeah, no kidding.
Anyway, I'm excited. I finally got that area, and I reorganized my whole shop, got everything set up, took down all the batteries that were over on this wall. I remember, I think you guys had seen it before. I don't know if anybody else.
Yeah, I was like, are all your batteries in your office?
Yeah, they were. Well, look at this. Wait. If you're watching the video, do you see this thing? Do you see how crooked that is?
Wow.
First of all, that is straight.
Awful. I noticed it earlier.
That is straight. That is crooked. I didn't put that in. I just want to point that out right now, okay?
Is that a switch plate? I can't tell what it is.
It is like an outlet with a light switch. He's got these stripper lights in the corners that like are these 3 bulbs on both sides. And it's like it would be perfect with a pole like right here. But anyway, it's so crooked. The guy who added this on to the house afterwards, he did so many wrong things to this house, but I didn't even notice last week. So whoever's watching is probably like, this guy. I didn't put that in. Don't judge me. That wasn't me. But anyway,
he did put in that gigantic floating shelf though.
That is huge. It's very thick. It's very thick. But the next ones I'm going to build are going to be a little bit thinner, and it'll look good. I'm going to actually. So there's that outlet right under the TV that I absolutely hate. Just because of how it worked out, I was actually planning at first to be higher and lower. Anyways, it all got messed up. So I'm going to put this plate on it so you don't see it. And I'm actually going to build these shelves on next to it where I'm going to put 2 sound bars on each side of the TV. Nice. So it'll actually all tie in, and you won't see it because it'll all be like crossed off or blocked off. But it'll look good in the end. But right now it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Can't you just take that switch plate off and then and then adjust the box on the inside?
Yeah, I just noticed today though. Like when I
Oh,
jumped
you
on
just
here.
not noticed it.
Yeah, because I've been working on this office for like ever and patching holes and all this stuff, and like all the electrical in here is crap. Like he has an outlet on the top of the wall that's 7 feet up in the air, just randomly, and there's nothing.
TV.
No, because it doesn't make sense because the TV would be like there wouldn't be a TV on this wall. And
you don't know his life, okay?
Oh, I know, because he left all his TV mounts that were like the cheapest TV mounts in the world all over this house.
He took the expensive one that was holding that TV.
Oh, it's just dumb. Anyway, so I have like this air freshener up there that's plugged into the wall and it's 7 feet in the air. I'm like, well, that's what's going to happen for now. I got a lot to do still in this
How
office.
did you not notice that was crooked when you hung that painting? That's what I'm so confused about.
Well, I made sure that was straight, but I just put that up. Like with my wife.
For people that aren't watching, this switch plate is 4 inches below the painting.
Yeah,
100%.
I put that up last week, and I still didn't notice that stupid switch plate. Yeah.
You like my nice way of saying why haven't you fixed it yet, you lazy ass?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm busy. I'm a busy guy. I don't know what to tell you.
You're a busy guy.
I know.
Busy.
Anyway,
you must be, because the guy that talked me into getting a smoker can't even respond to my text message.
I told you Fridays aren't good for me, bro.
Fridays aren't good. Can you please pick a different day to smoke your meats,
dude? Well, you kept sending text messages. Fridays are the one day
because you weren't answering them.
Dude, my kids don't go to school on Fridays, so I take care of my kids from morning all the way to when my wife gets home.
Well, that's unacceptable, because that's the day I have off, so I'm gonna need you to send your kids somewhere else.
I'll try to I'll tell my wife to get my kids on the same schedule as Brandon.
Perfect.
Just so we're all together here. But,
awesome.
Yeah.
I was out of town Friday. See, y'all didn't even know that. And you were complaining about me not answering.
Yeah. Well, you never answer.
It's true. Okay. So we're gonna do a grind my gears segment, okay?
When Jesse doesn't answer his phone.
This is So we've been planning on doing this segment, and then we keep forgetting. We had Jason Bent on last week, which if you didn't listen to the podcast, go listen to it. It's a 2-hour podcast, and it was a lot of fun. So we're gonna do a new segment called Grind My Gears. Okay, that we just rolled the music, so here we go. So here's the thing that grinds my gears. My wife has her phone on her 24/7, right? So you'd think that she'd answer her phone. She literally never answers her phone, and she takes 20 minutes to call me back all the time. All the time. She never ever answers her phone. I'm like, it's in your pocket. Why don't you just pull it out and answer it? And she's like, oh, I don't feel it. I don't hear it, whatever it is. Dude, it kills me. Literally,
You're not alone. I called my girlfriend today. She didn't answer. She sent me to the store for something. Yeah, I would assume that she would know that I'm going to call her, because I'm stupid and don't know actually what I need to get. Yeah. So yeah, she didn't answer, but she called me back pretty quickly this time. But typically it's that situation.
Dude, all the time. I can't. It bugs me so much. And anyway, I've gotten used to it. I just feel like I'm ignored.
If she's like my girlfriend and you want to get a hold of her, just post something on Pinterest. I'm sure she'll see it.
She checks that, but she's like, Brandon. She's like, Brandon, call. Nah.
Swipe up.
It's okay. Anyway,
dude, I purposely leave my phone places. I hate phones.
You hate phones? Yeah, but that's because you get called probably for work and other stuff all the time, and you just like, I don't want to deal with it.
I left my phone. Me and my son went deer hunting today. For about 3-4 hours, and I didn't even take my phone. I just left it at the house, and which I typically do when I go deer hunting.
What if you would have got a deer? You couldn't got an on-site picture.
Yeah,
I'd have figured it out. But
what does that mean? What does that mean?
I figured it out. I got a Polaroid in the golf.
He's like, no, what I do is I bring it home and I set it up in my backyard, the dead deer, and then we take a picture and be like, hey, we're in the woods, but we're not actually in the woods.
Leave your kid there. I'll be right back. I gotta go get my phone.
I was evening hunting anyway, so I'd have to hang it up and take it to the butcher the next day anyway. So I could have got it the next day.
That's fine.
But I mean, I got back to my phone, and I think I had, and I'm not exaggerating, I think I had 3 missed phone calls. And I know there was over 30 missed text messages.
Yeah.
It was like 36, 37 text messages.
That's what happens.
27 of them were from Brandon. Just so we're clear.
That's what happens when you're friends with all of your neighbors.
Yeah.
That's a good point as
Brandon's
well.
like, what temp for this chicken? Jesse. Jesse.
I know.
What time for the chicken? Jesse.
It was like, that's the one thing you got
Wasn't
Traeger
answering.
for.
I'm hungry.
One of the biggest
I'm
things you
hungry.
got Traeger
I'm starving.
for was the app.
I'm really hungry now.
I'm not gonna eat if you don't tell me.
We just keep getting text messages like, Brand's like, it's charred black on the outside. Is that bad? Is that a bad thing? We're like, dude, just take it off and eat it if it
Why
looks
is my
good.
grill on fire?
By the way,
No,
there's a tip. There's a tip for a new barbecue, like with the Traeger. Make sure you do vacuum it out though once in a while. Because I did that mistake where I didn't vacuum it out for a long time, didn't notice, and cranked it up high to do, I forget what it was, pizza or something. So I cranked it up super high, and I go out and actually from our kitchen window, I look out on my Traeger, and through the little hole, the drip hole, for the bucket,
right.
I saw flames shooting out, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I like run out, and I like open up the thing. And it's like whoa, and it's just engulfed like flames. And I'm like, "This is not good." And so then I like just turned it off and just let it like turn off, and it all died down pretty fast actually. But it's all that ash. If you don't get it, it'll catch on fire at the high heat. Yeah. And so it was not good. So just make sure you vacuum it out once in a while.
Right. What's funny too is people were like, make sure you put foil down on the drip tray. And I was like, well, they sent me these things. Like the guy I bought it from, the salesman, said that he doesn't use them at all. He just leaves the metal bare and lets the stuff drip on it, and then let that, like he said, it makes the meat taste better because the flavor. You
agree?
Up.
Jesse, you agree?
That's what I do. I've never used them.
Yeah, and he's like, when it gets built up so much, I just scrape it off with a putty knife.
Yeah, that's exactly
and I'm like, well,
what I
that
do.
makes sense, I guess. But anyway, everybody's like, put foil down, and then somebody was like, don't put foil down, it'll cause a fire. And then other people, and then I'm like, well, they sent these trays, and they're like, what do you mean trays? So I send pictures to like 5 people, and every one of them that have had Traegers forever, like, what are those? That's amazing. And I'm like, I don't know. They came with it.
I have them and I use them. They're great.
Yeah, even my cousin was like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, came with it. Maybe anywhere where they sell Traeger probably has them."
That's funny. Yeah, I don't
deal with accessories well.
Oh, really? Did you put on do you put on the front table though?
Yeah.
Okay, so you put that accessory on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a table. I gotta have that.
That's an accessory, bro.
That irritates me that it didn't come with that. And I was like, how much is that? It's like $89. I was like, I'll build my own, thanks.
Yeah, which you can. It'd be pretty easy to build your own. Well, you can fabricate it. The hinges, and then just have like even a wood one would be cool. Like a cedar one up front would be awesome.
That's what I was thinking.
So
or even like just a little table that just sits there. Like it doesn't have to, be very big.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, they already have the screw holes to hinge off of.
Right. Yeah, so I was looking at it today.
Easy. Yeah.
I was like,
I use those foil trays like crazy because I believe they send me 2 packs, and so I use them all the time. And then once they're done, I'll foil it. It's just easier to clean. Like
also,
when
they sent you a lot more stuff than they come with new, by the way, because you're like, they sent me like 5 probes. I'm like, I got 1. Like,
no, I told you they send you 2. Well, I got 2, and they came in the pack. The bigger ones came with 2. And then the small one came with 1.
Does the bigger one have spots to plug into probes?
No, just 1.
No, the Pro 22, the older one, has 2 spots.
Okay, because I've watched so many videos before I bought that one. I can't remember what, but I know some of them, either Traeger or other brands, had spots for 2 probes. So you could do like one side or each side of the roast or whatever you're doing.
My smaller one has 2, so you can hook up both. And so that one came with different size probes too, which the wiring's all different and stuff. I don't know what it was for. I never looked it up.
Are they different, like links and stuff?
No, they're same length, but one's really thick, like which is the same kind I got for the 780, and actually the Ranger, the camping one, and then the other one I got with the Pro 22 is really thin wire. So I don't know what the difference is, but they both work. So I just plug them. I was
wondering if they had like different size probes because I felt real stupid sticking that gigantic probe into a chicken thigh.
Yeah,
it's like
no, you'll just feel stupid.
Well,
that's fine.
You just got to get you an instant read thermometer.
I have one.
There you go.
Yeah, but I just wanted to I actually wanted to do that and then put it against my instant read to see if it was close, and it's like dead on. Well, I also calibrated it because somebody messaged me and was like, make sure you calibrate your probe because mine was way off. I was like, oh, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Looked it up.
I calibrated mine, but it's on.
Yeah.
That'd be like if you didn't calibrate your angle finder, like the digital one,
Right.
like to your table. So you're just like throw it up. You're like, man, this is. It's like your blade angle's like this, and you're like, yeah, it looks 90. It says 90. And you're like, that's not accurate.
Right.
Yeah. Is that how you did your light switch?
Yeah, that's exactly how I did my light switch. You asshole.
That was awesome.
Oh, man, you guys are so nice. You know what's funny? On my birthday, I decided to hang out with you two dicks, and I could be inside with my wife. So I think we're about to the end of this podcast, everybody.
Bro, you're the youngest one on this podcast. It's your birthday. You're wearing a cardigan and drinking coffee at 11 o'clock at night.
Why aren't you out on your 21st?
This is called fashion. Actually, I just got this for my birthday. Actually, I love it, dude. It's so comfy.
You said that already.
I know, it's so comfy. Well, you guys keep making fun of it, so I got to reiterate. I love it.
It definitely doesn't look like indoor-outdoor carpet.
This? Yeah. It's just green.
It is.
It looks like a smoking jacket.
Dude, if I had a pipe...
Sit back on that couch back there.
And I got my whiskey back there. Yeah. Dude. Now you're talking, Jesse.
You could even do like cigars. That'd be even.
In the words of Brandon, I have a casting couch too. Yep. Man, the whole thing. Oh, darts, dude. The whole thing's coming together.
Yes.
We got it.
You need to build like a liquor cabinet.
I know. I'd like to. I think I'm just gonna have them up on a higher floating shelf though.
You mean like where that one was hanging?
Yeah, no, I never put the floating shelf. Wait, did I? Yeah, I did. You're talking about the frame.
It way too high.
The frame. Yeah. That was a little embarrassing.
Speaking of cigars, I gotta make me a new humidor. I don't like this old one. This old one I got's bought. I need to make one.
Is that a George Strait song?
Humidor? I think that's Troubadour.
I know.
Troubadour's actually a venue. You guys know that in California? It's a venue that old rock stars used to play at. It's down in Venice or Hollywood or something like that. But it's Troubadour. It's this. I've actually gone to it.
I think
it's pretty
Troubadour
cool.
means like young male singer or something like that, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea. We sound so dumb right now.
Well,
Jesse,
it was cool.
You live in Nashville. You should know these things.
Pretty sure Troubadour means something about traveling, a traveling person.
Well, I don't know. You know Garth Brooks.
Just because I live in Nashville doesn't know the meaning of a country song.
You know famous people. Should know all the lingo.
Well, anyway,
that's true.
I got a heart out. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. This was a fun podcast, actually, just kind of bullshitting the whole time. So
happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. We appreciate if you subscribe, share, like, rate us on Apple and all the other podcast platforms. Apparently it helps a lot. Either way, we just like doing this. It's a lot of fun. See you guys next time. Go build something.